What's going on, everybody? This is Em here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to install a sensitive or stiff trigger mod. This is a very easy process and you're not going to break your controller if you just follow these things. First thing you're going to need to get yourself is a few of the following. You're going to need to find yourself a Torx TX8 screwdriver. They come like this. It's a security screwdriver. It's got a special screw to it. Let me focus that a little bit. You can't take the controller apart without this. Next thing you're going to need is for the spring, you're just going to need a simple flathead screwdriver. Third thing you're going to need to complete this, with the exception of your controller, is you're going to need a sensitive or a stiff trigger spring. So as you can see, on one side I have the sensitive, and on the other side I have the stiff. This controller right now that I have here already has the left trigger with the stiff in it, so I'm just going to take apart the right one for show. And just in comparison of these two guys right here, this would be a stock spring right here. As you can tell, the tension between the three are all different. So we're going to do the right trigger. The right trigger is what I do to shoot in most first-person shooters, so I'm going to go ahead and take out the sensitive one, and I'm going to place it in the right trigger. What this help does is it makes it easier to shoot, or as people would call spraying. You can easily spray with these springs. So here's my spring right now. I'm just going to place it to the side, and let's go ahead and start with taking the controller apart. Take apart the controller is very easy. There's 7 screws. Yours is going to be white or black. I don't know what color your controller is. There's going to be 3, as you can see, and there's going to be a little sticker right here. You're going to take that apart to find your 7th screw. You're not going to have this hole either, just saying. So once you get that, you're going to turn it this way, and you're just going to pull a little bit. Sometimes the backboard might come with the back, sometimes the backboard might not. And you're just going to remove the back, like so. Then you're going to be left with this, or maybe it came off, but either way, you're just going to pull this out. If you have your little 2 pads down here, that's fine too. This is your motherboard, like so. This is what we're going to need. This right here you don't need to touch, but if your buttons fell out, like so, say like this, you just line them up. There's 3 pegs, and you just place them in the correct hole, and they just turn in. Alright? You do this for every button, including the guide button. The D-pad won't come out, it has screws in it, the bumper, and this guy just snapped on. So we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to be left with our motherboard. To take this apart, I guess I would start with the Torx TX8 screwdriver. I just wanted to show you guys real quick. If you see the spring in there already, this one has the stiff, like I said, trigger in there. You can see how it sticks up a little bit in comparison to the stock spring. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but they make a little bit of a different sound when I click each of them. So let's go ahead and focus this. Alright, so I'm going to start by taking my screwdriver. And there's going to be a little hole right here. I'm just going to push it and push down. You're going to need 2 hands to do this, like that. And I'm going to take it out. And let's focus this one more time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull my finger and pull up, like so. Once I do that, I can now remove my spring, like that, and place it to the side. If your trigger happened to fall off, all you have to do is line this up like this and place them back in there. So once you have it sitting like this, you're going to take your new spring. Here's my sensitive one. You're going to line it up by putting it in the trigger first and have it sitting. And then what you're going to do is you're going to close it a little bit and try to line it up. Now you can't just close it and have it go together, which is why you're going to need your screwdriver to come in a second. Jesus, this spring is so sensitive. Alright, you're going to need your screwdriver to come in and help it guide so that it sits right there. Oh, look at that, mine actually just went. If yours doesn't go though, you can just take your screwdriver and go like this and nudge it in. Once you have the spring in place, you could snap down. Don't be afraid, it's not going to break. Make sure it clicks, and the last thing we have to do is connect it back to the board by taking my screwdriver, placing it back in that hole, and lifting up a little bit, and then going under it and just pressing up. Pressing up and down at the same time. I gotta do it this way. Alright, sorry, I'm lefty. I'm gonna go from this side, and I'm just gonna take this and snap it back into place. So now we have a very sensitive trigger and a very stiff trigger. Now this is gonna help us because when we're aiming, we tend to aim first, then shoot, but with this, it's really easy to just shoot. To place this guy back in, we're going to take this piece off again, make sure that you have all your buttons in place correctly. You're going to place the padding back on. If you took it off for that for some reason, you can place it back on there too. You're going to take the board first, and you're going to place it just in and let it sit. Then you're going to click it, make sure that you can click your RT and LT, and that you can move your analog smooth. Make sure it sits in there nicely before you take your back piece. Carefully lining up the springs first, and then hitting these two guys down. You should hear a lot of clicking. Line up your springs if they got misaligned, going back in there. Make sure that you can hit your two triggers, your buttons, and everything in the front. Okay, once everything's good to go, you can go ahead and screw back on your 7 screws and place on a battery pack and turn it on, and you'll be good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like it if it helped. If you're wondering where you guys can get these springs, I do sell them. You can also find them in various places, such as little Nerf guns or toy somethings. If you ever want to go back to take out this mod again, all you have to do is place back in a stock spring. I preferably like the stock spring in this trigger and sensitive in this one. I hope this helped.